Hello and welcome to the Unova region, a vast world based on the United States of America, with lots of places to explore and lots of Pokémon to catch. I am your host, Jacob, and I will be your tour guide through this magical and incredible world. In this series, I will be documenting and sharing my adventure through the Unova region, covering everything from the Pokémon we will find to the hidden treasures and adventures that are waiting for us just around every corner. I am very excited to jump into the game and start exploring with you all. But before we start off, let me give you a bit of background information on the world that we are about to explore. The Unova region is the 5th generation of Pokémon. Its home games are Pokémon Black and White, and their sequels, Pokémon Black and White 2. For this series, I will be focusing on Pokémon Black version, my favorite of all of the Pokémon games. While there are version differences between Black and White, I will not be covering all of the content found in both. I plan to stick primarily to Pokémon Black version, but I will mention aspects of White version as we go. One of my favorite aspects of these games are the soundtrack, so as we go, I'll be doing my best to capture that as well, so we can experience all of the magic these games have to offer together. And for those of you watching alongside on YouTube, there will be images of each location we are visiting on screen to better help you picture where we are in the story. Although the commentary will not rely on the visuals. Anyway, now that I have cleared all that up, it is time to grab our backpacks and ball caps and jump right into the world of Pokémon. Before we start off, we need to pick a character and name for ourselves. You get to choose between a boy and a girl character. I will be picking the boy character, a boy with black jeans, a red and white hat, and a bright blue jacket. And I will name myself Jake. Now, let's get started. The game opens into the small little collection of houses known as November Town. A woman in a white lab coat comes walking down a path towards a small brown house with an ocean blue roof. The woman enters and then leaves, and we are transported into the upstairs of the house. It's a small bedroom with a Wii, a bed and a purple rug, and 2 tables. One small empty table sitting against the wall, and one with a big blue box with a nice green ribbon and bow attached to it. Although, soon we are no longer alone, as a sharply dressed boy enters the room. He has neat blue hair besides from the one chunk that is spiked up towards the front of his head. His name, we'll soon learn, is Charon. Shortly after, a blonde woman with a huge green hat that is slightly falling off, and an orange jacket that seems a bit too big, comes barreling up the stairs and hollering as she goes. "Am I late again? Sorry!" The woman and Charon exchange a few words, and from it we learn that her name is Bianca, and that today is the day that we 3 finally get to start on our own Pokémon journey. All 3 of us huddle around the gift box, placed perfectly and neatly on the table. I decide to open the box and read the letter attached, which reads, "I've brought 3 Pokémon, 1 for you and 1 for each of your friends. Please settle your choices politely. Enjoy your Pokémon, Professor Juniper." The box unwraps, and inside it we see 3 Pokéballs, each one containing a different starter Pokémon, 1 for each of us. The first choice is Snivy, the grass snake Pokémon. It is a grass type with a green and tan body and a leaf-shaped tail. Snivy's Pokédex entry reads, "It is very intelligent and calm. Being exposed to lots of sunlight makes its movements swifter." The second choice is Tepig, the fire pig Pokémon. Tepig is short and mostly orange on its body, although its head and torso have hints of black with yellow markings on its face. Tepig's Pokédex entry reads, "It can deftly dodge its foes' attacks while shooting fireballs from its nose. It roasts berries before it eats them." Our third choice is Oshawott, the sea otter Pokémon. Oshawott is a small otter that stands on 2 legs. Its body is mostly white with a light blue torso. It has a brown oval nose and pointy blue ears. Oshawott's Pokédex entry reads, "It fights using the Scale Chop on its stomach. In response to an attack, it retaliates immediately by slashing." Picking your starter is always a hard choice. Each serve their own roles and has their own skills, yet you can only get one. So who would you pick? I've already made up my mind. and I'm going to choose the cute little fire pig Pokemon, Tepig. Bianca quickly runs up to the box and chooses Snivy, and Charon gets Oshawott, although that is who we wanted all along. Before we even get a chance to leave our peaceful little bedroom, a mini battle tournament breaks out. Bianca challenges us to a battle, her Snivy versus our Tepig. Although Charon has some concerns about battling indoors, we ignore him. It's time for our first battle. Bianca throws out her Pokeball and Snivy pops out, glaring at our Tepig as he pops out of his Pokeball. Tepig uses Tackle, darting back and forth. Our little pig Pokemon charges straight for Snivy. Right after making contact, Snivy bounces back, landing on his feet, and goes in for a similar charge. Tepig manages to evade the snake Pokemon and turn around for another quick tackle attack, this time knocking Snivy down, and our little Tepig stands victorious over the now fainted Snivy. As the dust settles, Bianca and I bring our tired Pokemon back into their Pokeballs. We see that our bedroom has become a huge mess. There are footprints all over the walls, the chairs and plants are knocked over, while the entire room is just now in disarray. Somehow, our Nintendo Wii is completely untouched. Worried about what my mom will think about destroying my bedroom, the group prepares to head downstairs. Yet, Bianca makes a good point that at least it can't get any worse. So after healing our Pokemon, Charon throws out his Oshawott as Tepig pops out of the Pokeball once more. This battle is similar to the other, trading blow for blow until both Pokemon are on the brink of exhaustion. With one final burst of energy, Tepig runs straight into the little otter and finally knocks it out. With both Pokemon completely out of energy, we gather our things and wander downstairs, where our mother is completely cool with it. She talks about how exciting it is that we all get to start our very own adventures with our new Pokemon. Looking upstairs at the room, she pats us on the back and says that she will take care of it, wishing us luck on our journey. As we disembark to the nearby Pokemon lab, a flock of bird Pokemon fly away, and Bianca mentions something about heading home to let her family know of the good news. As we arrive at the lab, we see that it is a grand building with a bright red roof and windows all over the front. Outside, Charon is waiting. But where is Bianca? I decided to walk next door to her house and see if she needed any help packing. When we get there, we see Bianca arguing with her dad. He tells her how she isn't ready for a journey like this, and how she's too young and doesn't have enough experience in the world yet. Although, Bianca is determined and walks away, meeting us at the door. We both leave and go to meet up with Charon. As we meet back up, we go inside the lab, and here we meet the professor. As we walk in, a woman in a big white lab coat with her brown hair done up in a bun greets us. Her name is Professor Juniper, and she is the one who delivered us our Pokémon. She tells us about the Pokédex, how it's a high-tech encyclopedia that records all of the data about Pokémon. But it only works if you catch the Pokémon. The professor tells us that she would like all of us to go out and catch as many Pokémon as we can to fill up the Pokédex. If we accept, it is time for our journey to truly begin. We of course accept. After leaving the lab and having parted ways with Professor Juniper, we meet up with my mother, and she gives all three of us town maps to help us find our way. Now, it is finally time for us three to head out into the world of Pokémon. We walk side by side towards our first true adventure, Route 1.